Come on in. Welcome to another episode of Forward Friday, y'all. We are talking about consistency, and today we're on part 2, maintaining consistency. So come on in, invite somebody, a lady boss, put their name in the comment section, share this in your groups. Come on in. Hello, hello. Hi, Twitter people. Hello, Twitter people. Thank you guys for coming in. Yes, good morning, good morning, good morning. We are on part 2 on our 13 keys to being consistent in all that you do. So we're on part 2 and we'll wrap it up with part 3 next week. But come on in, share, and share as I share as well. Good morning. Happy Friday, everyone. I know it's Friday. Happy Friday. Come on in. Oh my goodness, y'all. Listen, this has been a week for the record books. I always say that, but really, this has been a week for the record books. But all is well, all is good. And so we're going to wrap this up next week. So I pray that you guys have been enjoying what we've been talking about over here when it comes to consistency in all of our business tips, tools, and strategies. If you have been following us, make sure that you leave us some comments, give some feedbacks, and go to the page, you guys, over here on the page, and leave us a review. Let us know how we're helping you in your business, okay? Come on in. I don't know if you're watching me from Facebook or if you're watching me from Twitter, but let me know where you're watching me from. But come on in as I share. I know it is early on my side, on California side, but on you guys' side, some of you guys are on lunch. So while you're on your lunch break, come on in and get these tips. Good morning. Good morning, guys. Listen, I think last week it was the day before our graduation. The graduation was spectacular. It was amazing. Hopefully you guys got a chance to tune in, and some of you guys got a chance to see the photos because I did a photo dump. Later today, I'm actually going to do the presentation that we have for that. But right now, let's get everybody inside the room. Leave me some comments, some feedback, but share, y'all. I'm sharing with everybody. I think I've shared where I need to share. So good morning. Good morning, Coach Tracy. I see you, ma'am. Come on in the room so y'all can get these tips. Y'all, I'm trying to help y'all build businesses and be consistent because consistency is key. We learned about that last week, that consistency is key, and it really, really is. And being consistent is way more essential to your business than you trying to get a lot of views and a lot of likes, and we're trying to get over that. Okay, it's the consistency. Can you come on? Y'all know I had an issue with consistency, so I can speak on it. I had an issue with consistency, but it was due to medical reasons. All right, it was due to medical reasons, and I didn't feel right when I was not able to come on Fridays and do this with you guys. I felt like I was missing something. I felt like, I just wasn't quite like myself because I wasn't doing what I love to do. And so I love to help people inside of their ministries, inside their businesses, and get the tools and the tips and techniques that you don't have to pay for it over here, y'all. Okay, this is free stuff, as we say in the military. This is free chicken. Okay, so it's free chicken. So I want you guys to invite at least one lady boss that you know of that is struggling with being consistent. Okay, this is help for everybody, and I mean guys too. We help men as well, but it's always us. You know what I mean, women. It's always us. We have an issue sometimes with just being consistent. So let me pull up our presentation that we do have. Let's get over here to our slides, everybody. All right, this is our 3-part. We have a 3-part mini series, y'all, that we're doing over here. So let me pull myself. There we go. Put me all the way down so you guys can get the full picture here, and y'all can still see my pretty browns. Last week we went over those. All right, so this week we're in part 2 of part 3 with maintaining consistency. All right, so get your pen and your paper out and get ready to take some notes. Okay, get ready to take some notes, but invite somebody. You can invite somebody into the live by typing their name in the comment section. And so we're going to pop into this because I don't want to keep you guys on here longer than we need to be on here. And so, and again, just leave me some feedback on this. But here we go. We're talking about maintaining consistency. And this is part 2 of part 3. We'll finish off part 3 next week. Let me remove that because that is really irking me. This stuff is cute, you guys, when we have it up here, but sometimes it does kind of get in the way with the branding up here at the top. Let's see if we can switch that one out. There we go. That makes more sense. That looks better. All right. So there we go. I wanted to change that logo at the top because that other one was really just kind of irking me a little bit. It was kind of getting on my nerve a little bit. Okay. But here we go. We're going to talk about maintaining consistency. So let's get at it. Number 6, this is where we're picking up from where we left off last week. Number 6 is keep going. We'll go back and do a recap on all the ones we did last week at the end of the show. Okay. So number 6, if you've been keeping up with us, is keep going if you make mistakes, y'all. Just because you make mistakes, there's no reason to shut it all down and give up and not do it anymore. If y'all saw some of my slides had mistakes on it. I was not about to redo these whole slides. I fix them when we're not on camera, but it's not a reason to give up. Because even some of the most well-organized people, come on. First of all, perfection does not exist. Let's just get that out of our system. This is even getting on my nerve too, y'all. Let's just remove that completely. There we go. It does not exist. Perfection does not exist. And so what happens is when you try to operate in perfection and you get stuck there and you make a slip up and you make a mistake, now that's a big deal to you. So first of all, perfection does not exist. Everybody, you're only human and we all make mistakes, okay? That's not a reason not to keep going with what it is that you're doing, okay? So plan for this. Listen, some of the most successful people out here will tell you this phrase, plan for failure. Okay, because it's going to happen. Failure is a part of success. It is one of the steps to success. Failure means that you're doing it. Okay, you're doing something and you're trying to make it do what it do, as we say. So plan for failure. Say, you know what? If this mess up, then here's my contingency plan. Have a contingency plan, but don't beat yourself up, okay? But plan for setbacks and failures. Consistent doesn't mean perfect. There are all kind of external factors. Like I said, with me, it was health. You know, these things are going to happen. If you have to cancel an appointment, that is okay, you know, or break a promise or pass y'all. And y'all know I'm big on deadlines. If you have to pass upon a deadline, all right, create a new deadline. Just say, you know what, missed the deadline, but let me create this next deadline, okay? It doesn't matter. Despite your best planning, y'all, sometimes external factors can come in and throw a monkey wrench into the whole plan. But that's no reason for you to give up and not continue to be consistent, okay? If you miss a day at the gym, y'all, listen, I have so many books out there right now, and I have read my books and I have caught like some errors in my book. And I was like, oh man. And I'm like, so many copies have been sold, like hundreds of copies have been sold. So what I'm going to do, am I going to go and tell everybody? Ooh. No, what I do is I fixed the error and republish and let it keep going. You know what I mean? And so things happen. We're human. All right. So encourage yourself and don't beat yourself up because you made a couple of errors. You make mistakes, just keep going. Take time to recharge. This is for us people who move around like the Energizer Bunny, as if we run by batteries, and we don't. But here's one of the biggest things that you need to take into consideration when you are recharging, okay? Recharging doesn't mean you stop doing one thing and you start doing a whole bunch of other stuff, all right? You have to recharge to maintain consistency. So manage your time wisely, y'all. Give yourself time off. All right. Manage your time wisely. Like you may give yourself an hour. All right. When you're recharging, give yourself an hour to just look at TV, and nothing that's going to be so that's going to stimulate your thoughts. Okay. Watch something, watch some comedy, something like that to take your mind off of business sometimes. Okay. Take an hour in the bath, soak. You guys go get you some nice bubble bath and soak. People still do that, I do anyways. So do that. But don't work during your time off, y'all. Okay. This time is time for you to recharge. Don't fill your recharge time with other work. This is your time to recharge. Okay. So do that. Practice prayer and or meditation, you guys. Okay. I'm a prayer person. A lot of people meditate and all that good stuff. Whatever your vice is, it's a perfect way to quiet your brain down. Because some of us, even on downtime, our brains are still working like, oh, I know what I can do. I know what I can do. And I know what I can do. But prayer and meditation is a time to quiet down your brain. All right. And it gives you some peace. 15 minutes at a time is great. If you can get in those 15 minutes and start practicing that, be consistent in your prayer and meditation time. Okay. So take that time. To quiet your brain down, and give yourself that time to think about absolutely nothing during that time. All right. Practice self-care, you guys. Don't push aside your personal time. Just because I got deadlines, I need to do this and I need to do that. Don't push aside your personal time. Practice self-care. Self-care is necessary. It is essential to your overall health, you guys. Okay. So if you need like Saturday mornings to sleep in, sleep in. There's nothing wrong with sleeping in. I promise you're not going to miss nothing by sleeping in an extra hour on Saturday. Unless you work. We don't want you late for work. But if you're not working, take Saturday and sleep in for an extra hour. I've started doing that, y'all. And I'm telling you, it works wonders. All right. So and don't promise during this downtime. Don't tell people you're going to do things. All right. Don't make any promises and stuff like that to anybody. This is your downtime. This is time for you to quiet yourself down. Here we go. Use motivational tools to help you keep going. See, here we go. See, there's a mistake in there right now. I see it. Use motivational tools to help you keep going. Space out small, not small, but space out small rewards throughout the day. Okay, y'all, when you're tired, when you're stressed, it's easy to let your goals to slip by, for a day, but actions can quickly cause you to get off track. Now, if you're feeling down or you're feeling lazy, this is not during your recharge time. This is the time now when you need to be getting busy. Okay. Try different sources of motivation, but spacing out small rewards throughout the day to keep you going. If you're writing a book or you're writing a paper, give yourself those 5 minutes. All right. Take a break in between that time, you guys. I do a 5, 10, 15 rule. That's what I have. I have a 10, 15 rule where it's, take 10 minutes, work 15 minutes, take another 10, work another 15. But this one, for a lot of people, 5 minutes is great. If you don't have the 10 minutes to spare, 5 minutes is great, but do that. All right. Give yourself that time, at least 5 minutes. I say 10. Okay. I say 10, that 10, 15, take that 10 minutes to go walk, go eat, go watch some TV, then come back and do 15 minutes. You should never, and we talked about this last week, you should never be sitting down working on any task for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours straight. You should always take a break. And that's how you can get your goals and your things accomplished. She said mini vacations. Yes. That's what I call them too, Tracy. Mini vacations, 10, 15. It's called the 10-15 rule. You'll learn about that when you get in the writing class because that's what we use, all right, is the 10-15 rule. Okay, remind yourself of your long-term goals. All right, tell yourself if you want to achieve these goals, you'll have to get the task done. But in order to get the task done, you can't wear yourself out. You can't overwhelm yourself. You break it off into small chunks. Remember what we talked about last week. Don't try to do 3 big tasks in one day. If you say, I have to do 3 big tasks in one day, then you should be working on those 3 tasks, 30 minutes. 30 minutes for those 3 big tasks throughout the day. 30 minutes, not an hour, 30 minutes. But normally it's 2 tasks. I do 1 task, y'all. All right. I have big tasks and I'll work on each task an hour a day. That's how I get things done but my task is I have this task for this day, then this task for that day. I don't try to squeeze a whole bunch of tasks in one day. I dedicate a day for a specific task. That way I know Mondays, I'm working on this. Tuesday, I'm working on this. And I'm not trying to do quote unquote what is so not even realistic multitasking. It does not exist. Okay. It's just doing a whole bunch of stuff and not completing anything. All right. So tell yourself, remind yourself of your long-term goal, but then break those things down into smaller chunks. All right. And then compromise with yourself. If you want to eat more healthy, but you can't bring yourself to cook, pick up a salad instead, but compromise, make healthy compromises. So you guys make healthy compromises, even with your time. If you say, listen, I don't have time to take, a 15-minute break. I don't have time to take a 10-minute break. I don't have time to take a 5-minute break because this, that, and the other. Well, say if you can't take those breaks, then compromise by saying, well, then I'm going to shut it down early. All right. So I'm going to shut it down early. If I can't take the breaks, then I need to shut it down early. So you got to compromise where you're not taking breaks. Then that time needs to get tacked on at the end of you completing your task for that day. And then the rest of that is your time that you didn't take. So make compromises with yourself, but you got to get in that time and stuff. All right. So, and that will help motivate you because then you're like, boom, I finished the task. Now I got all this time that I can relax. Okay. But make compromises, but try to break things down into smaller chunks. That's what I say. All right. All this has to do with staying consistent. Hold yourself accountable, y'all. All right. Hold yourself accountable. You're not going to have somebody there all the time holding your hand and saying, hey, you need to get this done. Hey, you need to get this done. Now, I do for my coaches. They'll tell you I'm there. I'm an accountability piece. But check off your task as you complete them on your calendar or your schedule. We talked about those calendars and schedules last week. If you weren't with us last week, go back and catch part 1. All right. And we talked about checking them off. There is nothing more satisfying than checking off a task. I'm telling you guys, checking off a task that I do throughout the day. There's nothing. Really, Tracy? Really? All right. So check off those tasks. Okay. Do that. Check them off. Get accountability partner, y'all. Get an accountability partner, a friend, a family member, a significant others, Dr. K. All right. Because I'm going to make sure that you get it done. And I'm going to make sure that you're healthy, though, while you get it done and you're not stressed and you're not overwhelmed. Okay. But you shall get it done. All right. And be gentle with yourself if you miss the mark. Again, if you miss the deadline, if you don't get it complete in the time that you say you're going to get it complete, be gentle with yourself. I don't, go off on my coaches and clients. I just say, all right, so you missed the mark. So then we're going to get it done this day then. All right. But don't not do it just because you missed the mark. Don't say, oh my gosh, you missed it, so forget it. Don't do that. Be gentle with yourself and say, I missed the mark, made a mistake, but I still can get it done here. Just don't stop moving, okay? Continue to be consistent. Dr. K, you had me on a deadline, and I didn't even know it, but I know you was going to come back and ask, so I get into their minds, you guys. I get into the coaches and clients' minds, and I have people that say your voice was in my head, and that's why when I decided I was about to do this instead of do that, I heard your voice in my head, and that's good. That's a good thing to have me in your head, so I don't have to be there to push you, okay? But if you get this accountability partner, just make sure that they will check on you to see what your progress is like, because some of us won't do it if somebody don't check on us, and we'll be like, well, think we're going to sneak by and not get it done. So have somebody that's disciplined enough to help you stay disciplined, okay? But just don't beat yourself up. If you miss the mark, don't beat yourself up. It really is it's a big deal, but then it's not that big of a deal to where that you are feeling bad about yourself because you didn't complete something in a specific amount of time. And that's why we talked about last week about making sure that what you're doing is realistic and the time schedules that you set for yourself are realistic. All right. And so we're at that point, boom, where it's Q&A time. If you have questions, all right, I'll be sure to answer them. This is the spot and this is the time within our lesson that you can ask questions. If you're catching this by replay and you have a question, please feel free to post it. I will come back and answer your question. Okay. But again, you guys, we're right on the money today. And so let's go back and recap. Okay. We're going to go all the way back and we're going to recap from last week to this week to get everybody caught up. So when it comes to being consistent, the part one was implementing consistent practices. And so number one was create specific and realistic goals. Okay. Create specific and realistic goals. Number two, create a schedule. Okay, guys, you can come back and go look on those where you can create the schedule. Let me move this so when you do come back, you can see that. I told y'all we do the most with these banners and stuff, okay? So you can see that because I want you to be able to see what it says at the top. Let me remove that. There we go. Where you can see where it says using the paper planner and all that good stuff. So create a schedule. I'm going to move that for a minute. Boom. Let's put it back. Okay. Got to keep up with our branding, y'all. Number three, post reminders. Post reminders. Post reminders. Okay. I'll just leave it off. Post reminders. Okay. Number four, don't make promises you can't keep, especially when it comes to stuff like chores and stuff. All right. But this is about being consistent. Okay. Reward yourself for completing your goals. Reward yourself for completing your goals was number five. Okay. And we had question and answer. And today was maintaining consistency, which is part two. Number six, keep going. If you make a mistake, you don't have to stop just because you make a mistake. You're not perfect. Consistent doesn't mean perfect. Remember that. Take time to recharge. Manage your time wisely and practice self-care. Use motivational tools to help you keep going. Space the small rewards, space them out throughout the day. If you complete something in that 10-15, then reward yourself for the 15 minutes that you did work something. Okay. Okay, Tracy, hold yourself accountable. And you hold yourself accountable by getting someone to help you be accountable. That is holding yourself accountable. Okay, that's growth and maturity. Be gentle with yourself if you miss the mark and check off your tasks as you complete them. Q&A. So if you have any questions, all right, feel free to leave your questions here. Again, thank you to our friends and family who are watching us over on Twitter. We always love having you guys with us. And if you have questions, comments, or concerns, there's the information where you can send it to, or you can post your comments right here on this broadcast, and I will come back and check them out. Next week, y'all, we're going to wrap up the 3 parts. Okay, y'all? The third part is coming up next week. We'll be dealing with changing your thinking. Part 3 of being consistent. All right, guys. I thank you guys for spending the time with me today. And as always, you guys, this has been Dr. K with another episode of 4-Word Friday. And so we love you guys. We thank you guys. And again, if you have questions, comments, or concerns, please don't feel like any question is a dumb question. I don't believe in dumb questions. Okay, guys. My philosophy is the only dumb question is the question that you didn't ask. Okay. Other than that, there's no such thing as a dumb question. So thank you guys for coming over, and I'll see you guys again next week. Have a good one.